This took me a long time to really catch, but once I caught this last part here, everything just changed so much quicker for me. And I'll give you examples once again with your weight loss and your health goals, with your love life and relationship goals, professionally or personally, and with your money and opportunity goals. This is the key, and so many people do not get this, but it really falls under that universal spiritual, energetic, and physical principle of sowing and reaping. Like the energy we put out and what we put out gets multiplied. That's what we reap, right? So this is it. Write this down and start paying attention through the day with how you react to things. So the energy that you're reacting to different situations with is what's keeping that pattern going. So once again, the energy that you're reacting with is the energy that is keeping that pattern going. That is the root that needs to be plucked out. That's the root that needs to be plucked out, and then that you need to switch what you're sowing and reaping in that moment. That this right here is what really breaks those patterns. If you're like, I am literally doing everything that you're telling me to do, but I'm still having finance issues. I'm still having issues in my relationships, in my love life and professionally. I'm still not losing the weight and hating my body and feeling uncomfortable, whatever it is, having health issues. So remember, the feminine way, the feminine energy way of manifesting things into reality, whether it's body goals, health goals, relationship, money, whatever, is we feel safe, we're in our pleasure, and we're worthy to receive. Okay? Think once again, pregnancy, those little cells get multiplied and it turns and it develops. Our hormones, our energy nourishes, develops, and matures that thing, and we give birth to it, and that's manifestation creation, right? So if you're not feeling safe, if you're reacting and not feeling safe and you're feeling stressed all the time, yes, you can still give birth to a baby, but it's going to be it's not going to be a very joyful or pleasurable experience for you versus being calm and relaxed and enjoying the whole process, right? But so it's like either way, yes, it might come into reality, but how do you want that journey to be for yourself? Do you want it to be a journey of ease, right? You're like your weight loss goals, your health goals, your relationship, your marriage, your business, your money. Do you want it to be of ease and of fun and worthy to receive? Like, I'm a queen, I'm royalty. Or do you want it to be one of you striving and hustling and grinding and working hard and burning yourself out? Yeah, you might maybe get the same goal, but you're going to feel completely different either way. There's a root there that needs to be plucked. And that root is, you'll notice it with how you are reacting. And I've really nailed this in a lot of areas of my life. And then there was one area I was like, I'm still reacting. I'm still being triggered with this one thing. And that was the root of it. And once I started shifting that, like within that day, it started changing. Okay, so let me give you a few examples. Hopefully you're with me. And if you're not, that's okay. Your spirit is catching this, and come back to this. Okay, come back to part 1 and to part 2, because you're going to catch this. And I really believe and I pray that you're going to catch this way faster than I caught it. Like, I literally just discovered this year. Okay, this last part here. So for example, with health, you look at the mirror, you feel triggered. That feeling, that reaction, that's the energy that's keeping you stuck in that place. You go on social media, maybe you're starting to compare yourself, or you're starting to feel bad about yourself. That little tiny subtle energetic root is what's keeping that pattern going with your health and your body goals and your confidence. You look at food, you get triggered, you feel some type of way. It could be so subtle, girl, and you're so used to it you don't even notice it. But maybe is it causing you a little bit of anxiety? That's the root that needs to be plucked up. Maybe the thought of working out, going to the gym, you don't want to be seen, you feel uncomfortable, you feel embarrassed, you feel ashamed. That's the root right there. That's a pattern we have to break. Not only is this spiking your cortisol, but it's keeping you in that energetic pattern that needs to be broken off. Okay, so once again, how do you break it? Go back to that 5 steps, but it's really going back to appreciation and love and and figuring out how to make it fun and easy on yourself. Like literally do whatever you need to do to make it fun and easy on yourself, because going back to the oxytocin, I have a lot of doctors and other science nerds in here like me, but it's just so crazy how science and spirituality line up literally perfectly, because oxytocin is the love hormone, and it is at its peak when you're having fun and being playful. That's why you're in the play shop. We're shutting down that stress and that lack energy, and we're healing your body, your relationships, and the flow of money. This is why you might have heard, unless you're like a child, you have the faith of a child, you won't be able to experience all the glory of the kingdom here on earth. We're meant to experience royalty living here on earth in our abundant universe. But in order to do that, we have to not always be in our logical masculine energy brain, and we need to get playful again. We need to be like a child again. It's going to be healing to your hormones. It literally ages you in reverse, and that's what allows you to manifest things into reality so much faster. Tap into that spiritual miracle realm, which is actually supposed to be our everyday reality. The hormone oxytocin is also released and at its peak during creation, during a sexual orgasm, and during labor. So right before they've noticed that oxytocin increases right before the onset of labor, so it actually starts uterus contractions. And oxytocin is at its peak, like its highest level, I think it's like 3 to 4 times higher, right when the baby's head is crowning. So there's a phase, I don't think I've told you girls this before, but there's a phase in labor called the transition phase. And I studied, of course, like everything else I do that I become obsessed with, want to know all the details. So when I was determined to have natural labor, I studied absolutely everything about natural labor. And this was obviously years ago. But there's a phase called the transition phase, and that's a phase where the woman feels like she wants to give up, like she cannot go on anymore. And healthcare workers, midwives, this is what I learned from my midwives, is they look for that, because that's the point where they know that the baby's actually coming. So a lot of times, pregnant women be like, oh, the baby's coming. The midwife's like, I don't know. But when she gets to that point where she's kind of like freaking out almost, and thinking that, she can't do this anymore, she can't handle this anymore, she's really behaving differently, that's when they know that she's in the transition phase and that baby's actually about to come. And that's actually when the oxytocin is the highest. So, how God created us is so freaking amazing, because even in life, if you're going around and you're stressing and you're spiking your cortisol constantly all day long, you could be sitting at your desk, you could be in your marriage, or you're on a date, or you're at the gym, or you're on social media, and you're just freaking spiking your cortisol nonstop. It's literally shutting down your other hormones that you need, like your progesterone, right? And testosterone, for example. And spiking your insulin, spiking your blood sugar levels, which makes that stubborn belly fat not want to go away. What shuts all of that down is your love hormone, oxytocin, that love hormone. Okay, so that's why I'm like, okay, find the fun and easy way. Oxytocin also is a trust building hormone. It's the bonding hormone. That's what brings relationships together. That's why we're so drawn to comedians and people we laugh with, because oxytocin is released. Side note, I probably should do a whole nother video on this, which I'm probably going to do. I'm just thinking about this now. But releasing more oxytocin within the marriage, obviously in your marriage, but in relationships that you want to develop, is what will bond people more to you. Anyway, the point of all of this is the feminine way. This is how God's created us to manifest things into reality with ease and with more fun, is by releasing more oxytocin. Isn't that so cool? I think it's so cool. Like literally do whatever you need to do to make it fun and easier on yourself, because hormonally, the oxytocin that's released when you are in that moment where it's feeling really uncomfortable is what's going to calm your cortisol levels. But even energetically and spiritually, that's what's going to, I don't know if you've heard the scripture where it's perfect love casts out all fear. So the remedy to fear, anxiety, shame, it's all, the root of that is all fear, is lack. Anytime you're feeling lack, the root of it is fear. So the remedy for that, remember, like I said, is the opposite feeling, the opposite energy, which is love, right? So if you can love yourself in that moment, you start practicing looking in the mirror and be like, I love you. And even if you don't like how you look at the moment, picture that little girl. Would you say you're ugly to that little girl? Hell no, you would not do that, right? So love that little girl in that moment. When you're thinking of dressing, when you're at the gym, when you're looking at food, when you're, even on social media, wherever you're noticing that little energetic pattern that needs to be uprooted, that is the very moment that you need to release that love, that appreciation, and that oxytocin by having fun with it. And that's what's going to dissolve it and break that pattern. Oh my gosh, this gets me so freaking excited. I could cry right now. Okay, love life, your love life, and relationships, because it's all the same thing. Here's an example. So maybe you feel like you're always one that has to show up. No one shows up for you. Maybe you feel like you're not being validated. It could be at work, business. It could be within your marriage. It could be dating life. Doesn't matter. Friendships, family. You're not feeling validated. Here's a big one. This is what I had to really work through. Feeling rejected or abandoned. And maybe you're seeing that cycle that keeps showing up professionally and in your love life or your dating life or your marriage, where you're feeling rejected, you're feeling alone. And the root of that, so that energy, when you keep that pattern going of that feeling of being rejected, of feeling alone, like feeling like people aren't showing up for you, that's what's going to keep manifesting more relationships that are going to mirror that back to you until you heal that, you pluck that root. So for example, even before Brian came into the picture, I was like, okay, I need to stop rejecting myself and stop abandoning me. And once I really started showing up for me and not abandoning that little girl in me, then I started attracting more people into my life that were just all in and had me on a pedestal and wanted to show up for me, not halfway, but fully me. Okay. And that could be with clients too. It could be with customers. Look at the root. How are you reacting to people? It's nobody else but you, girl. You got to shift it in you first, and then people will mirror it back to you. Even feeling like people are incompetent. I know I have a lot of really smart, intelligent women in this group specifically, and some of the struggles sometimes can be thinking that you're surrounded by incompetent people. But because you feel that way is why you keep attracting people into your life that seem incompetent. And it might not be that they're incompetent, it's just that you're stuck in that energetic pattern. And it could be with your romantic love life as well, in your marriage. If you feel like you need to really prove how smart you are in your marriage, that's going to destroy the polarity in your marriage. Okay, that's something inside of you that needs to be healed, where you felt like you needed to show people how smart you are as a form of protection. Okay, so once you pluck that root and stop reacting that way, so even if somebody does something, it could be your husband, it could be a guy, it could be a client, customer, student, even your kids maybe. Instead of your initial reaction of like, oh, why don't they get this? Why can't they just do that? I want you to stop and in that moment just start appreciating them. Script on how smart they are, how competent they are, how people show up for you, how people catch things quickly, that you attract the right clients and customers and your husband and your partner and whoever. They're just like, I literally script that I'm always surrounded by way smarter people than me that love to help me, that everyone is in their zone of genius, because I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. Like then everyone relies on me. And that's how I used to be in my masculine energy, right? So I will literally script on the type of people that I want surrounding me and with my partner, my kids, everything. And that's what you will draw out of them, okay? But it has to be you first, and you have to pluck that root and replace it with that love and that appreciation, because what you focus on grows. Okay, and then last example is the money and the opportunities. How are you reacting? Maybe when you have to pay your bills, it could be every day. It could be dealing with clients. It could be that stress of feeling like there's not enough. That's the root right there. You could be saying all the right things. You could be super smart. You could feel like and seem like you have all your ducks in a row. But if deep down you are super stressed out and feeling like there's just not enough, that's the root, that's the energy that's keeping that going. And this is probably the biggest root that I've had to pluck out and replace, because it's just something I've had my entire life. And I am going to get into more teachings around this, probably not in this play shop, but I'll create a business and cash flow play shop for my ladies down the road. But this is the root I really had to pluck. And I'm telling you, girl, like, it doesn't matter if you're making $100,000 in a day or $1 in a day, or you don't make any money or lose money in that day. If you're in that energetic pattern of money is stressful, that there's not enough, because you could have money and opportunities and that could be stressful just as much as not having opportunities and money being stressful, because then you feel like, oh my gosh, I have this new client, or I have this, or I have all these responsibilities, or this new investment we're doing right now, or I just invested this, and that could be super stressful. And you've just spiked your cortisol levels, and you've just continued that pattern. You've just sowed more energy of stress. Doesn't matter if you have the best intentions, you're a woman of faith, you're speaking scriptures, but if you're still stuck in that energetic pattern of stress when it comes to money and opportunities, you will be stuck there. That's what needs to be broken. That's a pattern that needs to be broken. So how I've done it and how I encourage you to do it, right, is if you anticipate, like, okay, every month at this time I get stressed out because I have payroll, I have bills, I have whatever you have to pay. Leading up to that, you need to shower that time with fun, appreciation, and abundance. Like, you should be doing this every single day if this is your struggle. Okay, whatever your main struggle is right now, maybe it's not the money, maybe it's the health and wellness piece or the relationships piece. I don't know if you guys just heard the fire alarm just went off. My nanny's cooking right now. I have to tell you this. This audio, part 1 and part 2, I have never had so much resistance getting an audio to, girls, ever in this entire play shop. I have been interrupted probably about 12 times at least trying to get this to you. And even just now, I didn't have my mic, so I'm like, screw it, I'm doing it anyway. And then, like, my nanny's cooking and the fire alarm went off. But I know you need to hear this message. Like, take that as a sign, that's the root right there that needs to be plucked up. Okay, like, no matter what, you are so stubborn and determined to pluck out those roots right in the midst of those moments. So going back to the feeling of not enough, whether it's the money, the love, the opportunities, the health, the wellness, the body goals, whatever it is, it literally does not matter. It's all the same stuff. In that moment, every single day, you're practicing the abundance, the appreciation of the fragments that are already there. And then if you know that you have that cycle pattern of when you have to go pay bills or job related stuff, business related stuff, maybe it's checking your email. That used to be me. That's how far, how much I've grown. Maybe it's dealing with certain people specifically that are stressing you out. You need to be that dominant energy in that moment that's going to break the cycle. So do what you can to make it fun and easier on yourself, and practice, like, imagine yourself like that, in the shower, you're imagining paying your bills and it's so easy. Maybe you need to pay your bills like once a month. Maybe you need to start outsourcing things. Maybe you need to set up healthy boundaries with people. Maybe you need to set up better systems. That was the biggest thing for me, is setting up better systems, heal people pleasing, all the things I talk about in, modules 1 and 2. But do what you need to do to break that cycle, girl. Okay. Likewise, and this is something I also had to break off of me, is how well do you receive things from others? So that could be as small as compliments. It could be money. It could be help. If somebody offers to help you, offers to give you something, do you deflect it right away? Do you accept it with appreciation? How do you react to people giving you things? I didn't realize this, but, people would say, give me a compliment, and I would deflect it right away. Like, if someone's like, oh, you're pretty, right away you're like, oh, I hate my hair today. I hate how I look. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. Or, oh my gosh, no, you're so pretty. No, whatever. You don't receive it. It's so subtle, but in that moment, that energetic pattern is, I'm not worthy to receive. The biggest one for me is I would get money coming in and I would just hold on to it. I wouldn't cash it. I would just hold on to checks. I would, it's so funny because like I can manifest money so easily, but then I wouldn't receive it. I wouldn't hold on to it. And so it's like these little things, and I'll notice this too with people on social media, and this is not a judgment, but for the girls that want to grow their businesses and their social media, one thing you'll notice if you look at my social media, it grew so fast. And one of the things I did right from the beginning is anytime someone will leave me a comment, I respond right away. And I do it with all sincerity and appreciation. And it's like, even if it's just a couple people, even if it's one person on that post, and maybe you don't even have a comment yet, maybe just someone liked it, like appreciate that person. Your first customer, first client, appreciate them, receive them. Right? Do you do this? Sometimes you get a gift or a new piece of clothing, and I did this too, and I would just hold on to it. Right? So that's the energetic pattern of not worthy to receive. So really pay attention to the energy patterns that you have. So your reaction, your energy and motion is your emotion, to giving and to receiving. And to work, and how do you feel holding on to things? Does it stress you thinking about saving and stacking money or stacking opportunities? Does it stress you when you think about giving anything, maybe your time, your money, whatever? Does it stress you to receive? Or maybe you're not feeling stressed, but you just know, I got it. A man wants to do something for you? No, it's okay. I got it. I can do it. Let me just do it. Let me just do it. I really, really notice this with women who I love. I know this in guys too, but I'm focused on my ladies right now because this is really key to being more in your feminine. Is women will just jump in and do it right away. It could be opening up a can. It could be going and grabbing something from downstairs. It could be opening the door. If you're really having your masculine energy, just pay attention how you react to these things. Are you the first one to jump in and do it? Or do you allow people to help you? Okay? And just recognize it. So all day long, for the rest of the day, rest of the week, pay attention. How are you reacting to people? How are you reacting to situations? And what's going to happen is you're going to flip it, right? Where someone might say something dumb to you or ignorant to you or make a rude comment to you, and normally you would have been triggered by it, but this time you've trained your nervous system, you've re-regulated your nervous system to smile, to laugh about it, right? Like you're literally not giving your power away to anybody or anything, and that includes the bills, that includes your body, your health. Like practice feeling that emotion of showing up at the gym and feeling confident, or going on a date and feeling confident, or being in your marriage and your man is just so crazy in love with you because his heart feels safe with you. His heart trusts you because he knows that you're not going to emasculate him, that you're not going to put him down, and you're going to build him up and inspire him. And that he also gets to see you living your best life, and you're so in love with life, and you're so in love with yourself and your confidence and your new passions, which is so attractive to everybody, including men, right? Practice feeling yourself being confident in whatever area that you feel like you're not confident in right now. But anyway, that's what it is. Notice the root, notice the energy that you're reacting with, and pluck that root out and shower it. Like literally drown it out, overflow it with love and appreciation and fun, girl. And I promise you, like everything in your life is going to happen. Like all your desires, all your goals are going to happen so much faster. Okay, come back to this audio as often as you need to. And I love you. And yeah, reply. Let me know how this helped you. And I want to hear your wins too, girl. Love you.